Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're looking at day 2 of our article, Turning Fear into Opportunity, Sebastian Stan.
Yes, and so in the first part, we kind of learned a little bit about where he came from, and then his kind of really big break where he got into the Marvel universe and all of that, and apparently he was in like 9 movies, so he definitely had a very good run, especially with one of the big movies being that he was the Winter Soldier, which I think basically is a whole movie about him, right? Him and Captain America.
Well, yeah, the movie's about Captain America mostly, I guess, because it's called Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
So, but obviously his character, Sebastian Stan's character, the Winter Soldier, plays a big role as one of the bad guys in this movie.
He's a bad guy in that movie? I would have guessed he would have been Captain America's friend or sidekick.
Well, there's a long backstory. They were friends at one point long in the past. But in this movie, he's the bad guy and he gets into, fights with Captain America. But don't worry, in the end, they become friends again.
Oh, good.
Everything is all right, they're at least better. They're on better terms at the end of this movie. And he becomes a good guy in the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, see, so I haven't seen very many Marvel movies, but I would have guessed based on, again, what we had read is that he was the sidekick of Captain America, and now they've got this movie together. I would have thought it would have been them two kind of taking on all the bad guys. I would never have guessed that he was the bad guy. Interesting.
Well, he's a good guy now.
Oh, good.
All right, and Sebastian Stan's a good guy too, and we're going to learn more about him when we get into part 2 right now.
Sebastian Stan's career success owes a lot to his embrace of fear, a philosophy that has pushed him into some daring roles. In May 2025, he returned as Bucky Barnes in Marvel's Thunderbolts. While many actors might settle into the comfort of such a familiar role, Stan does the opposite. "When something freaks me out, I'm more drawn to it," he explained. This attitude led him to play a young Donald Trump in The Apprentice, a part that demanded considerable preparation. Equally challenging was his role in A Different Man, which required dramatic physical transformation to play a character struggling with identity and self-acceptance.
Welcome back. Today we're looking at part 2 of Turning Fear into Opportunity, Sebastian Stan. So we learned a lot about him last time. We finished off with him getting a 9-movie deal in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that also led to TV shows and other work from that.
Yes, and so if we continue on, because now we're going to see what happens next, or where did this all kind of go from going to Marvel to what's next. And so it says, Sebastian Stan's career success owes a lot to his embrace of fear, a philosophy that has pushed him into some daring roles. All right, so he's not just taking the easy way. He wants to use his fear and say, I'm going to do things that scare me, and that is the philosophy that he lives by. And if you have a philosophy that you stand by or live by, it basically means a set of principles or a set of kind of rules that you want to embrace for your life and follow. So in this case, his philosophy is do things that scare you or embrace fear and push into these kind of things that might be kind of, a little bit scary to other people. So it's good to have some kind of philosophy that you live by. Then you know that you're on the path that you want to follow. And so here we have an example sentence, and it says, his philosophy is to never be afraid to try new things.
Well, that sounds like a good philosophy to have. In May 2025, he returned as Bucky Barnes in Marvel's Thunderbolts. While many actors might settle into the comfort of such a familiar role, Stan does the opposite. Okay, so to do the opposite means to do something that is completely different and completely not the same. It's not even like that thing at all in any way. It's completely different. So we have an example sentence. Rosie did the opposite of what we asked her to do.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续介绍 Sebastian Stan 这一位演员。课文提到说，他事业的成功很大程度是要归功于他接纳恐惧。那这种人生哲学推动他挑战一些大胆的角色。2025年的5月，他在漫威电影《雷霆特工队》当中再度饰演巴奇·巴恩斯这个角色。那对许多演员来说，他们可能会安于这样一个熟悉的角色，可是 Sebastian Stan 却选择相反的道路。好，单字 philosophy， 这是表达人生哲学、生活准则或者是哲学的意思。Opposite 在这边当名词，则表示对立的人或事物，或者是对立面。好，接着回到课文中。
Okay, and so now we go to back to the article and we see that this next part is in quotes. So this is actually Sebastian talking. Maybe he was interviewed or something like that. So these are his actual own words, and he says, "When something freaks me out, I'm more drawn to it," he explained. This attitude led him to play a young Donald Trump in The Apprentice, a part that demanded considerable preparation. Okay, so he could have just gone back to all these comfort roles and played Bucky and all that kind of stuff that he doesn't need to necessarily prepare too much for. But he decided to really challenge himself and take on this role as a young Donald Trump in The Apprentice. And so we had this word considerable, and this means that there is a lot of something. So there's a noticeable amount, and it's quite a bit. So if you have considerable preparation, then it means that you need to prepare a lot for whatever it might be. And in our example sentence, it says there was considerable damage after the storm. So there was a big storm that came through. The damage was quite a bit. It's noticeable. It was maybe there are buildings knocked down or houses knocked down or trees or any of this kind of stuff. So that would be considerable damage.
Equally challenging was his role in A Different Man, which required dramatic physical transformation to play a character struggling with identity and self-acceptance. Okay, so he's having to go through a dramatic physical transformation. So physical is an adjective that means relating to the body. So when you have a physical illness, it's something that is wrong with your body. Whereas on the contrary, we have the term mental, which means related to the mind. So you could have a mental illness, means an illness of the mind, but a physical illness means an illness of the body. So when we're talking about his physical appearance, we're talking about the way he looks, what you can see on his body. We have an example sentence. His physical appearance changed in a short amount of time.
课文引用了 Sebastian Stan 的话，他解释说，当某件事让他感到不安，他反而更感兴趣。好，那文中他用到 I'm more drawn to it 来表达我对它更感兴趣。那么 be drawn to somebody or something 表示被什么所吸引，它是被动语态，那就跟 be attracted to 表达同样的意思。好，那这个动词 draw 在这边表示吸引、招来，它的三态是 draw, drew, drawn。举例来说 I was drawn to the beautiful scenery 我被美丽的风景所吸引。好，那么 Sebastian Stan 这样的态度使他能在《狂人法则》这部电影当中饰演年轻的川普，这个角色需要大量准备。另一个同样具有挑战性的是非常男人这部电影里的角色，那这个角色需要剧烈的身体变化来饰演一个挣扎于身份认同和自我接纳的角色。好，那么单字 considerable 是形容相当大的、非常可观的。这时候 Sam 老师有提到 noticeable 这个字，在 notice 后面加上 able， 那它可以形容是显著的、显而易见的。下一个单字 physical 是形容身体的、物理的。另外文中用 a character struggling 来表达一个挣扎于什么什么的角色。我们这边是要介绍分词片语的用法。主格关系代名词引导的形容词子句可以简化成分词片语，也就是先省略关系代名词，再把动词改为分词。表示主动或进行的话，我们是用现在分词 VING； 表示被动的话是用过去分词 PP。那这边就来看一个例子。 They visited a castle which was built in the 16th century. 他们参观一座建于16世纪的城堡。那么其中的 which was built in the 16th century 这是形容词子句，我们就可以把 which was built 简化成 built， 变成 They visited a castle built in the 16th century. 那我们这时候就看到了名词 a castle 后面是接了过去分词 built 来修饰它。那我们就接着回到课文中。
Okay, so we can see that he is not just sticking to these kind of more, a little bit more simple roles of playing in the Marvel universe. He's getting into some more dramatic or challenging roles or things that take a lot more work and preparation and physical change. So he is definitely going out and trying things that scare him.
That's right. So we've still got some more to learn about Sebastian Stan's recent work when we come back after this break.
The movie industry has certainly noticed Stan's hard work. In 2025, he made his mark by earning double Golden Globe nominations for The Apprentice and A Different Man. While it was the latter that earned him the win, his acting in The Apprentice also received BAFTA and Academy Award nominations. With his time in the MCU possibly drawing to a close, Sebastian Stan looks set to transform again. Whatever he does next, his ability to take on complex, demanding roles marks him as someone to watch and an actor at the top of his game.
Welcome back. So before the break, we talked about how Sebastian Stan embraces fear, and that's led to a lot of his career's success. So instead of just sticking with Marvel movies, he's gone out to do other movies that maybe are more challenging and maybe would cause him to have some fear, but he said that things that make him scared or freak him out only draw him in. So that's why he's now done movies like the Donald Trump movie, The Apprentice, and other movies which have been really challenging to do.
Yes, and so we see it says the movie industry has certainly noticed Stan's hard work. In 2025, he made his mark by earning double Golden Globe nominations for The Apprentice and A Different Man. So both of those two movies that we talked about that were challenging in different ways both earned him nominations at the Golden Globes. And so we had this phrase, make one's mark. And if you use this or hear this phrase, it basically means that somebody has put their mark on the world, meaning they are famous for doing something or they have done something that made everybody notice and remember it and pay attention. So to make your mark is kind of like the idea of you made a mark here and everybody can say, yes, you achieved it. So he is famous now and he's done this. He has a double nomination for The Apprentice and A Different Man. And so he's really made his mark on the movie industry.
That's right. So getting a nomination is a big deal in the movie industry. And a nomination is having someone or some organization put you forward as a candidate to win something. So they're saying that they've narrowed down the selection to only a few last people or a few last choices, and one of those is going to win. So when he's nominated for a Golden Globe, he has a big chance at actually winning a Golden Globe because there's only a few other movies or actors in that category. Continuing with the article, while it was the latter that earned him the win, that means it was the different man or a different man, his acting in The Apprentice also received BAFTA and Academy Award nominations.
Sebastian Stan 在2025年凭着《狂人法则》和《非常男人》这两部电影获得了金球奖提名，让人留下了深刻的印象。那么虽然是后者《非常男人》这部电影让他获奖，但是他在《狂人法则》当中的演技也获得了英国电影学院奖和奥斯卡奖的提名。好，单字 nomination 这个名词表示提名，它的动词是 nominate， 就可以表达提名、任命的意思。那么文中的 make one's mark mark 表示留下深刻的印象、深远的影响。mark 在这边当名词就是表达记号、印记。这边还有一个重点是分列句的用法，我们要强调句子当中的主词、受词、时间副词或地方副词时，可以用到分列句表达。我们把要强调的部分摆在 it is 和 that 之间，或是 it was 和 that 之间，其余的部分摆到 that 之后。所以这个句型就是 it is 或 it was 加强调的部分加 that 再加句子其余部分。举例来说 He became interested in photography in college. 我们现在用分列句强调 in college， 那么句子会写作 It was in college that he became interested in photography. 他对摄影产生兴趣是在大学的时候。那这话课文中
Wow, so you can really see that his acting ability goes far beyond kind of the action hero, like this kind of, woohoo, I'm a superhero and I don't need to necessarily have so much acting ability because I'm just cool and I can fight. He actually is really making some real kind of impact on the world of acting, earning all of these different nominations and awards and things like that. And so it says, with his time in the MCU possibly drawing to a close, Sebastian Stan looks set to transform again. Okay, so we have this phrase, draw to a close. So basically that just means that something is coming to an end. So this MCU, this Marvel Cinematic Universe has kind of been going on for a very long time, and now it's starting to kind of get to the very end. There might be a very last movie and then it will just be done and he won't be in anymore. So if something is drawing to a close, it's been going on for a while and now it's kind of slowly coming to an ending where he now needs to, in our case, Sebastian now needs to find something next to do.
So he's looks set to transform again. So to transform means to change from one thing into a completely different thing. And you might be familiar with another popular movie franchise, the Transformers. And those are called Transformers because they transform from a car or a truck into a giant robot person, alien monster thing. So they are transforming or changing from one thing into a completely different thing. We have an example sentence. The book transformed how I see the world. So it completely changed the way I see the world. Back to the article. Whatever he does next, his ability to take on complex, demanding roles marks him as someone to watch and an actor at the top of his game.
课文最后有提到说，随着他在漫威电影宇宙的时光可能即将结束 ，Sebastian Stan 似乎正准备再次的转型。那么单字 transform 这个动词就表示彻底改变或改造，它的名词是 transformation， 可以表达变化、变形。那么 Matt 老师聊到电影《变形金刚》，它的英文名称 Transformers 就跟这个单字有关。那老师在讲到这个电影系列时，用到 franchise 这个字。Franchise， 那这个名词可以表达特许经销权。当我们用 film franchise 或者是 movie franchise， 是表达说由一部电影衍生出的系列电影。好，另外文中用到 draw to a close 或者是 draw to an end， 这表示接近尾声，即将结束。动词 draw 在这边表达逐渐完成的意思。例如 The trip is drawing to a close， 这趟旅程即将结束。好，接着回课文中。
Okay, and so now we have a what do you think question, and it says, which of Sebastian Stan's films would you most like to watch? So do you have one that you think you'd like to watch?
Well, I think The Apprentice sounds the most interesting to me because I kind of forgot about it and I had wanted to watch it before and then time passed and I still haven't watched it. So, and now that I just became aware that he was nominated for Academy Awards for this, it makes me want to watch it even more.
Yeah, and I would like to watch probably A Different Man. And actually, I don't know anything about it, but he apparently won for that one. So I would say that the story in that is probably pretty good. And so I think that would be quite interesting to watch, especially he had to go through a physical transformation. So I would say he probably put a lot of energy into that movie, and it could be quite fun to watch.
All right. Well, so there's lots of Sebastian Stan movies for everyone to watch, and you can go watch all of the Marvel movies and have a Marvel marathon. But I hope you've enjoyed learning about how Sebastian Stan became who he is today. And that's it for today. So we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Sebastian Stan's career success owes a lot to his embrace of fear, a philosophy that has pushed him into some daring roles. In May 2025, he returned as Bucky Barnes in Marvel's Thunderbolts. While many actors might settle into the comfort of such a familiar role, Stan does the opposite. When something freaks me out, I'm more drawn to it, he explained. This attitude led him to play a young Donald Trump in The Apprentice, a part that demanded considerable preparation. Equally challenging was his role in A Different Man, which required dramatic physical transformation to play a character struggling with identity and self-acceptance. The movie industry has certainly noticed Stan's hard work. In 2025, he made his mark by earning double Golden Globe nominations for The Apprentice and A Different Man. While it was the latter that earned him the win, his acting in The Apprentice also received BAFTA and Academy Award nominations. With his time in the MCU possibly drawing to a close, Sebastian Stan looks set to transform again. Whatever he does next, his ability to take on complex, demanding roles marks him as someone to watch and an actor at the top of his game.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 philosophy 名词，表示人生哲学、生活准则或哲学。opposite 当名词，表示对立的人或事物，或者是对立面。considerable 是形容相当大的、非常可观的。physical 可以形容身体的或物理的。Transform 是动词，表示彻底改变、改造。那文法的部分，我们第一个学到了 draw 相关的片语用法。首先，我们用被动语态 be drawn to somebody or something， 可以表达被什么所吸引。那另外，我们用到 draw to a close 或者是 draw to an end， 它是表达接近尾声、即将结束。第二个，我们学到分词片语的用法，主格关系代名词引导的形容词子句，可以省略掉关系代名词，把动词改为分词 VING 或 PP， 把它简化成分词片语。第三个，我们学到分列句的句型是 it is 或 it was 加强调的部分，加 that 再加句子的其他部分。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Hey, 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 it's Kiwi on the street.
I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie. And today we're doing an experiment.
And I bet you won't know what we're doing. Da, 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 da.
What could it possibly be?
Okay, so we are going to make a string telephone.
Yes, but I remember when I did it when we were kids, it didn't work.
Well, see, I don't remember, and I've been wondering if it works or not. So today we're going to try.
Okay.
Okay, so I've prepared our materials. I've prepared some decorations and markers, and we can just draw on it.
Okay. Here you go.
Okay. All right, Winnie, are you done?
Okay. Reveal in 3, 2, 1.
And then I've got my eyes here.
Oh, okay.
Now we're gonna use our box cutter and just make a little hole.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just a little one.
Okay.
All right, and then while you're doing that, I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of straw.
Okay. Just gonna cut a little more.
Oops.
Oops.
It's okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to thread our string through the cup.
Okay.
Okay, thread it through the cup.
Okay.
When you thread the string through, you can tie a knot around your straw, your piece of straw. So tie a knot. After you tie a knot, you can pull the string through and then it won't come out the other end. And
Oh, okay.
I'm done.
Okay, me too. And let me try and pull it through. Okay. And there you have it. So when we use our string telephone, we have to make sure to pull it taut. So that means really nice and tight. I think that's what we were missing when we were kids.
Oh.
So let's go see if it works.
Okay, it's the moment of truth. We are going to test our string telephone.
Let's see if it works.
And I have my magic little helper with a word, and Winnie has to see if she can say she heard me right.
Oh, okay.
This is the word.
Not looking?
Okay, this is the word.
Okay. Okay, remember to pull the string taut so that it can work, okay? Hold on, let me see. Okay. And go. Is it giraffe?
Yes, it is!
Ding,
Okay,
ding,
it works!
ding, yay! Now that we know our experiment was a success.
Yes. Well, that's it for today's Kiwi on the Street.
And remember to follow us on Instagram and DM or email us if you have anything you need to say in English and you don't know how to, okay? So, do you have anything left you want to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Kiwi later.
She says, Kiwi later!